So let's just put this out there to everyone. We've all been through these moments, I'm sure, where you're dealing with a situation, whether it's a health situation or whatever, and you're just wondering, is there ever going to be a moment when you've reached your final destination and it's complete? Join us as we discover this together. So welcome everyone to the Joy Without Justification podcast. We are your one-stop spot for finding peace, purpose, and presence. No explanation is needed. I am your host, Denny.
Hey, and I'm Dan. Today we are tackling a question many of us grapple with. Is there ever a moment when we'll truly feel complete, free from anxiety, depression, and those nagging feelings of unworthiness?
And that's a heavy question. That's one that even you, because of what you've gone through with your anxiety, that's one I've even asked you a couple times. When will you know that you're complete? I mean, but it's one that deserves an honest exploration on. I think many people imagine that this is some magical fireworks moment where suddenly all their struggles, poof, vanish and everything's all fixed.
Right, yeah. It's like this idea of a final destination on the healing journey, but I think that sets you up for disappointment. It implies there's a point when you're just done and you never have to deal with these feelings again, and
Wouldn't
that's
that be
not
nice?
true.
Wouldn't that just be
No,
wonderful?
it's a work in progress. It is. It really is.
And it actually can be counterproductive, though. If you're constantly searching for this elusive, complete feeling, we might miss the progress that we are making along the way.
Right. And that's so true. I think a better way to look at it is it's a continuous journey of growth and self-discovery. It's not about eradicating these feelings entirely because they're part of the human experience. It's about learning to manage them, to understand their roots, and to develop healthier ways of coping. A lot of spiritual circles talk about enlightenment, and I think people, when they look at enlightenment as something that's final.
Yeah.
And you're there, you've arrived. But that's really not life. Life doesn't end at a certain point, and neither does your self-development.
So it's about building resilience.
Absolutely. Yep.
And learning how to bounce back from your setbacks and to be more kinder to ourselves while we are struggling.
That is 100% accurate. And that involves a lot of different things. It might involve therapy, medication, mindfulness practices, connecting with supportive people. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. None.
No, there never is. There's always... Everybody always wants to try to find that one quick answer, and there's never that one quick answer. Self-compassion, though, that's pretty huge in this. And so often, while we are struggling with anxiety or depression, though, we beat ourselves up about it. And we start telling ourselves, we need to be stronger and, or we're going to fail.
Right. We all have an inner critic, we all have that voice that kind of tells us we're not doing good enough, right? But what if we treated ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a friend? That's huge. I think we're taught to not be self-compassionate somehow in American culture and religious culture. You're not taught to do that to yourself.
Yeah. And it's a powerful shift about recognizing, that we are worthy and deserve love and acceptance.
Right.
And even when we're not feeling at our best.
Right. And I think the idea of completeness also gets tied up with this idea that we have of perfection. We think that if we could just fix everything and become the ideal version of ourselves, then we'd finally be happy. That's what we think.
I mean, do you ever feel that that you've got almost to a feeling of completeness at times?
No.
No?
Nope. I've always been, I had a lot of issues in life, to be honest. But no, I feel that I've made a lot of progress. I can look back and be proud of the progress I've made, but I also am self-aware that it's a never-ending journey. I will be doing this till I'm no longer alive.
Do you ever get a feeling like you've sort of started seeing a light at the end of it all?
Oh, well, yeah, I think so. But I think the goal is to never be satisfied and say, I need no more work, because I think you always learn new things and you want to always improve.
And we are as humans.
Oh, yeah.
We are a constant work.
Yep, everything's in flux.
There's always...
Look, life itself is going to throw
improvement.
so much shit at you that you're never going to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked before. I mean, I have a pretty good job. Tomorrow I may not have one. We don't know how things are going to go. Yeah. I don't plan on losing my job. Don't misunderstand.
And what you're dealing with today, you're maybe not going to deal with tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a whole different situation.
Absolutely.
So, completeness. It can somehow also get tied up with this idea, like you're saying, of feeling like you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And that if we could just sit and fix all of our flaws, we would become the ideal version of ourselves.
Right. It's about accepting that we're always evolving, we're always learning, we're always growing. And that growth often involves facing challenges and working through different emotions. And there's no such thing as perfection. There just isn't. Let's look at nature. Nature, to me, is one of the most beautiful things, but nature allows things to grow where they are. You can be walking on a path in the woods and there's this little flower sticking out of the beaten path. It blooms where it's planted. That's kind of what we are. Life is circumstances, and there is no perfect moment, but we can have beauty within that.
What about one time we talked about, anytime you feel this, talking to a therapist or talking to your pastor, priest, whichever, are there support groups? People that are going through or have gone through stuff like you go through with your anxiety and everything. Are there support groups where people could just go and talk to people who are dealing with, because you've told me many times how I don't understand it, and I don't. I've never gone through it. But where people can just go and talk to other people that are or have gone through it and understand
there's probably a support group for every situation out there. Those who have maybe heard before, I grew up in, a very cult-like church. It created a lot of anxiety and damage to me. And I was diagnosed with religious trauma syndrome, which is a very real thing. And I'm in a religious trauma support group online. It's a small town here, so probably not locally, but you can always at least get something online. And that has helped me see that I'm not the only one going through this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's that in and of itself, knowing that there are others like you.
So pretty much connecting with others is important.
Right.
And then you would realize that, hey, you know what? You're not alone. And the struggles can be incredibly validating, right?
Sure, yeah. Sharing your experiences, being vulnerable with other people creates a sense of belonging, and it helps us to feel, like we're not doing this all alone.
So in other words, what we're getting to is the answer to the initial question. Is there ever a moment when you'll feel complete, free from your anxiety, depression, feelings of unworthiness? Maybe not in the way we usually think.
But there will be moments of deep connection. There'll be moments of self-acceptance. There'll be moments of joy. And when you get a glimpse of that, the wholeness we're seeking, and in those moments, you create a life worth living. So I don't think we'll ever be complete, but I think we will see lots and lots and lots of progress, and we will be proud of how far we've come.
Yeah. So before we close, though, we're going to take a little look into what we are going to be discussing in the next episode. The next episode is going to be a two-parter.
Okay.
Because it's going to pretty much ask the question, are you limiting yourself? Whether by your feeling of unworthiness on things, or because you just don't feel you can do it.
Yeah.
Are you limiting yourself? Maybe that's even what's holding some people back from a relationship, because they limit themselves.
Sure.
Of feeling like they deserve the love.
Sure.
From
Absolutely.
another person.
Absolutely.
So that is going to be our next topic. Part 1 will be the next one, and then part 2 we will look at hopefully giving an answer that might help people stop limiting themselves.
Right.
So, on that note, everyone, take care of yourself. Be safe. Enjoy life. And although there may not be an answer right around the corner, never stop looking for that answer. On that note, peace out.